What's up, my peoples? Scream 5 or the new Scream. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to call it. I think it's Scream 2022 or Scream the 5th installment or Scream 5. I'm going to say Scream 2022. It sprayed that little spider down with Raid. I know Spider-Man took about $2 billion in, but come on, man. Ghostface slashed the spider. And people are going, well, you're not in it. And, but I am. And I did a reaction to the movie. And I just feel so lucky there's just this bonding happening. And there's a reinvigoration of the movies in general, my feelings with the movie, and all of these wonderful, the goodwill. So, basically, this video is how I got cast in Scream 5. Now you're going, what are you talking about, dude? You're not in the movie. Well, here's the thing. I feel more involved in this movie than I should. I'm only doing this because I feel so humbled by the whole situation. And you guys are just asking me more and more. And, look, let me give you a little backstory. I was in Scream, as you know. I've done the videos on that and how I got involved. And then, obviously, I was in Scream 2, and we talked about that. And then we died. I should do a video on the death of my character, of how I really feel. And then I was brought back in Scream 3. And then there was, a break. So, and then Scream 4 came out, I want to say April of 2011. So that was like 11 years. And now this one is now. So it was 11 years. I knew my character was done. No one ever thought they were going to make any more Screams. And then, so they had the premiere, and, at that time, a lot of people were in different things. And they, the studio called me and said, you want to come to the premiere? And I was like, of course. So I came and I went and I saw everybody and, a lot of people, but it still felt like it wasn't my thing anymore. Like I remember talking to some of the new cast. I remember talking to Hayden Panettiere for a teeny bit, because she was kind of like the Randy character in the fourth one, or talking like him, I believe. Am I right? And I saw different people there, and but I was dead. I was just there. I was like, oh, there's a former cast member. Scream 4 opened to almost $20 million, which is really good. But it costs $15 million more than the new Scream, which is crazy. And it made almost $100 million worldwide, so that's pretty amazing. So look, you're never going to lose with Scream. That was it. And then so I wasn't thinking much of it. Doing my life, I'm doing Tremors and game shows and, stand-up and stuff. And that's what the last 10 years have been. And, some movies that go straight to Pakistan Red Box, and then other movies that, like Ad Astra, which I had a nice little part in, which I'm hoping it goes to Criterion Collection so you can see my role, because I got fucking cut out. But I've been doing conventions, and I saw, how the convention circuit really reinvigorates things and really keeps things alive. And Screams was getting hotter on the convention circuit. And now it's full on iron ore. But, I'm dead. So I'm sitting in my house, I want to say like a year and a half ago, and I'm with my girl. I get an email from the guys, the trio. It's Tyler and Matt, who are the directors, and Chad, the producer. I probably want to say it was like June of 20, a year and a half ago, like before they started shooting, or maybe they were shooting. I don't know. Whenever Scream was announced, it wasn't too far after that. And they say, hey, Jamie, they introduced themselves and they said, we got your email, and look, we're the guys shooting the new Scream. We, really want you to be involved. They're like, we have a really good idea for the character and the legacy of Randy. And I was just like, wow. I was like, okay, like, how are they going to do this? I'm thinking, well, now I'm not going to be able to come back because I'm dead. And then they started telling me, we were emailing all the time, and they were like, it's going to be Martha Meeks. She's going to pop in. That's your sister, Heather. And there's a shrine to your character in the living room. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we're going to do a whole Randy shrine. It's like the good vibes of, your sister loves you, the twins love you, and it's the good vibes of the house. And it's like, if anything goes bad, the presence of Randy will help. And I was like, oh my God, that's like so beautiful. Like, I was so touched. I never met these guys. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Ready or Not. And now I'm even a huger fan of Scream 5. Because, these guys are incredible. If they don't direct a huge Marvel movie, I'll be very surprised. Like, they're fucking amazing. But you saw that in my reaction. And I'm like, okay, so what do you need me to do? So they're like, we want to get some pictures. And, any pictures that you have around that age and the time, send them to us. So Alyssa has a lot to do with this. I'm like, okay, we'll go into my book. So I have all these books, like tons of scrapbooks. And I'm like, go to the 90s. And like, I'm pretty good. I'm a little backed up right now, but like I have like Scream 2, Fox Pilot. Like I have a lot of books. It was pretty organized. And so I start doing that. And then they're like, okay, these are cool, but can you do some personal ones? And I was like, okay. And at the time, a guy was starting to write a book about Scream, and he also wanted pictures. So pictures were being talked about. And so it's crazy. The biggest, it's so crazy. It's kind of nuts, the picture that's in the movie, because I'm young. I'm really, I'm really young. I want to say, so when I did Scream, I was 25, turning 26 on the movie. I had a birthday party on the movie. I don't know. I want to say I did the rules scene when I was 25, and I got shot when I was 26. What a great way to have a birthday, right? The main picture in this movie, like Alyssa, she's like, oh, this is so cute. You're in your prom. It's a prom picture. And there was another one where I was out with like my buddy Stu, and I think I'm like half wasted. I got the goatee and the red one. I was like early sidekick phone, like a T-Mobile, and the other one I think was a set the Ghost Whisperer, and I was like, no. There was like no. It was nothing after like 03, but the pictures either went from, this is so, I didn't know I was going to go down this rabbit hole. I think the pictures literally went from 1986 to 2003. I'm not kidding you. Like almost a 17-year span, because the big picture they used, which I'm surprised they used it, which I loved it, was I think my sophomore prom. Because my hair was feathered and I'm fat. Either that or my senior prom. So it's either 86 or 88. And then they asked, do you have the rights to this? I'm like, the rights? It's like a fucking prom picture. There's like some fucking dude who does weddings outside of Philly. Fucking some dude with a briefcase and drives a fucking Volkswagen Jetta in the 80s. I'm like, I don't know what that guy is. And they're like, okay. So then I think what they did was they painted it. And that was like the picture was the inspiration, but it looks so real. And that was the pick. And so that way there's no legal issues. And then the other ones were my personal pictures. I have to remember, I think they used 3 or 4. And they had that big plaque. And that's the main picture. And I'm thinking, well, they should have should they have used like something from Scream? But they can't, because Scream is Scream. It wasn't filming Randy talking, because that would be super meta. You can't film. Yeah, that would, unless somebody had a video camera. There was no, like, Skeet's in it because he's on the news. You understand? I wasn't, filmed like that. So they used the pictures, and then they were like, these are awesome. So Alyssa, it really helped, because she's like, how about this one? I'm like, yeah, okay, good. So she dug in the crates, and unbeknownst to me, I think that they were, obviously at the end of the credits you'll see, and I only know certain people that were telling me stuff, but I wasn't getting enough. I only knew really what Skeet did. And I knew Matthew was starting to do stuff, because he was kind of telling me. And I was like, don't tell me too much. And obviously, the big 3 were in there. And so, boom. I gave them the pictures, and they did it. And I was very humble. I was like, of course, whatever you need. And I was very honored. I don't know, man. It's just catching me. It's like, I just feel there's a lot going on in my life right now, and there's a lot in this world. And I don't mean to. I didn't plan to do this like this, but the movie is so good because of the amount of respect that these guys have for it, and the amount of just pure joy. Like they really just they honor the movie so well. They honor the world and the legacy and everything so well, you know. And I know you think I'm being biased, but I'm not. Like I could look at this as a conscientious outsider, and I objectively would still see the same thing. You know, obviously I'm, you know, a little bit more biased because I'm in it, and it's just rare. You know, it's just rare for people in this world to be that respectful, and it's definitely rare for people in this town, in this business, to be that respectful. You know how I feel about this business and how people are, and these guys are just salt of the earth. I haven't even met them yet. We just talk all the time on emails. I'm crying over it. I hope I don't get catfished. What if it's someone else? No, but they're just, I'm not going to share. I mean, their emails are just so purely respectful and honoring and loving. And like, of course, I would do anything to, you know, of course, to be involved. And they were, it's just so crazy for the role that I might be most known for in my career. And, you know, Malibu's I'm also known for, and, you know, it's low-key Tremors, but this is, you know, probably the most known thing I'm known for, you know, now definitely more than ever. Like, you know, Malibu's come up, even some of the Mass people got me, but this is, I think, superseding everything. And I just think of some of the projects I've done with people that are so disrespectful. Just like, dude, you know what the fuck you're doing? Like, do you even know what the fuck I've been through, bro? Like, seriously, like, do you understand the people I've worked with? Like, how, and just people have, like, just disrespect, man. And, you know, when you're down in this business, or you're having a low point, or you're insecure, and you take some jobs you don't want to take, and you got some fucking prick talking to you, and then fucking movie ends up in, you know, fucking Pakistan Red Box, and, you know, and some asshole reviewer is shitting all over you, and you're like, why did I even do that? You know, was it worth it? You know, was it worth a fucking house payment? You know, but you know, if you don't have any, if you're not getting the opportunities that you want, and you're trying and you're not getting there, it's like you can just sit all day in your house or work out or write. You know, and then I have like 6 scripts, but if like people don't make them and I can only do so much, like I'll get to that, and I'm trying to raise money, but it's like, at some point you get itchy. You got to do something. And during those moments, you work with people that maybe you shouldn't work with. They're fine. They just don't understand respect. And 2022, this world needs a big ass teaspoon of knowing what respect is. And these guys have it in abundance. Even though we're just in an email relationship, we do DM too. I'm laughing at my own jokes. I gotta stop, but it's funny to me. I would probably walk through a field of ghost face with knives for them, because they shoot the scene, and they said, "Hey Jamie, just want to let you know the scene went amazing," and our cast, you know, really wanted to, you know, take this picture, and we took the picture. So, you know, I'll show you the picture, and it's all of them in front of the Randy Memorial, and they were like sad or happy, or they were so loving, like the whole cast. It was just beautiful vibes, just beautiful, and it meant a lot. It meant a lot, you know. I'm sure it meant a lot to them. They were shooting a movie. This is the height of the pandemic. They're all quarantine in North Carolina, which is great. It's beautiful down there, and there's a little family. I'm sure it was a fantastic atmosphere, but there's so much going on to be able to shoot that movie in that time, and then to be able to include me and the people. We don't even know. They don't even know. I don't know where the movie's going to end up, and this time in the world, and then all of the, is it going to stream and all this stuff, and then bam, they stick to their guns. It comes out theatrical. It comes out number one. I mean, you can't ask for a better feel-good story. I mean, pop the champagne for these guys and the whole cast and crew. And it's crazy because I'm in the movie. Now you're going, what are you talking about? Calm down, crybaby. No, but I felt my presence. I felt my character's presence in the movie. Like that picture is my personal picture of my life from a prom. Probably keep feeling fascinating around that time. And so that's a Jamie picture, but Jamie plays Randy later in life. It's so meta. And we were meta way before Mark Zuckerberg. And you can send that video to him. And there's a moment where Jasmine is giving her speech, and Dylan, and all of the cast are there, and Skeet is on TV, looking like the killer, that famous iconic picture, and then I'm over here in my 10th grade prom. So literally, if you look at the tableau, I'm low-key in the movie a lot because that scene is so long and they were cutting, and there's this big picture of me and I'm all fat. A little fat because that time in the 80s, that's when I was I hated high school and I was getting depressed, and I started having zits at that time, and I was drinking a lot of old Milwaukees. We used to drink something called Pounders. They were 16 ounces, so it was 1 pound, and it was how many pounders can you pound. So I was probably doing 4 or 5 on the weekend, on a Friday maybe, but that would five pounders on a Friday, that would fuck me up. But then throughout the movie, Jasmine gives these speeches, and so it's obviously Jasmine. But I had felt it's my lineage, the Randy lineage. And David was saying the rules. I was like, oh, there's a Randy lineage, And then someone else, Dylan was talking stuff. And Jack Quaid at the end is like, where's my ending? Now, Randy wasn't saying that, but that was more like a Skeet killer thing. But I'm like, oh, fuck, because Skeet dissected the movies and then said, we all go a little mad sometimes, and blah, blah, blah. And then Mikey Kelly, she's over there going, I was this, I was that. She kind of had some movies. So there was a lot of movie references, and I just feel that always that Randy's the movie guy. I'm not going to just take credit for it because in the movie, a lot of people knew Randy knew movies, but Skeet also knew movies. And Matthew's character always knew movies. And we all get to new movies, Gail and Dewey. And so that was it. I did that. I saw the pictures. I was very touched. I was very honored. And then that was it, And then this is what you don't know. So sure enough, they hit me again. And they're like, Jamie, we would like you to do something else. So at this point, Skeet had told me, no. So they're like, we want you to do something else. And I was like, what? And they told me, I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, we want you to do this. So at the end of the movie, there's all these credits where they thank certain people. And I'm not going to tell you, but there's another, at least one Easter egg of me in the movie, possibly two. Now, I don't even know if you'll know what that is. I would be surprised if a hardcore fanboy might not know. It would have to be somebody with the production. So if you worked on the production, don't ruin it for the rest. Let people figure it out. And I thought, so they asked me to do something else. And then I did it. And then they were like, let's do it this way and let's do it this way. And that was at the end of June. And 5 days later, I was in Arizona with Skeet and Matt. And Skeet started telling me stuff. And I'm like, dude, fuck, slow your roll. I don't want to know all this stuff. And then Matthew's like, well, you did this, right? I was like, I did that. You did that. And he's like, oh, I did that. And I'm like, and then we started talking and we started sharing intel. And I'm like, I don't want to say anything. He's like, don't worry, no one's going to know. But we were at a convention and I could see the 3 people running the fucking, escape room were like, because they were like, yo, that shit was like Bitcoin. They were like, what's up? And that's when I started going. Like, once Ski told me what he was doing, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so interesting. So I kept that shit close, and I have to give Alyssa so much love and credit because she didn't say shit, and she had a lot of intel. And then I did one other convention, and I could see people getting a little more horny for Scream, but like I said, I was dead. It's like I get this other movie. I filmed the movie, my first movie I filmed during all this stuff, and it's a movie we were trying to do for a year and a half, and all this stuff's happened. And then I go to Vegas, and like there, it's on, we're funded, boom, and I'm in Vegas, and Paramount's like, yo, Jamie, do you want to promote Scream, the box set? It's coming out in like October. It's the 25th anniversary and disc and all that stuff. And I was like, sure, And they set a press day, and I did a whole press day from Entertainment Weekly to NPR on down. I did so much, and I did probably from 11 till 8 at night podcast, and it was long, and they were like, thank you. They were so appreciative. And so I was like, wow, you guys are really including me. But that was separate. That was for the Scream box set of 4. So then I thought, okay, so then it's done. I start, getting busy, and then Drew's show called, and they're like, can you do this? And then a tweet, and then I couldn't do it. It was at the time I was flying or something. And then, time went away, and then Drew's, called again a couple weeks ago, and they're like, can you do a pop-in and surprise Nev, David, and Courtney? And I was like, well, what do you want to do? And then they sat with the producers, and they're like, you're going to be on Zoom, you're going to pretend, and then you're going to take your mask off and blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll do that for sure. And they were like, what stories can you tell? And I told her, I was going to tell this crazy story, but it was daytime TV, so I couldn't really do that one. But, so I did that, and they were so beautiful and loving, and David is like, hey, buddy, Courtney and Nev. And I see Nev the most because I go to conventions, I'll see her. Courtney doesn't come out, and David sometimes, but sometimes I'll see David around Hollywood. I never see Drew, and Drew's really been involved in promoting this movie. It's 25 years. Obviously, she's known for so many things, but Scream is one of the biggest things she's known for. But also, she helped make it big because once she died that way, it's iconic. And once you kill a star in the beginning, it's like, it hadn't been done really, I don't think, since Psycho, Janet Leigh. And it's just been a beautiful love fest and like an organic thing. And now I feel like, I didn't act it. And I'm really bummed because there was going to be a premiere, and I thought, okay, I'll go to that and catch up with everybody. And then that got canceled. And then I guess there was a few screenings, and I didn't get to any of the screenings because, so much is happening right now, and I'm going to do a video about it. But obviously, some of the bad stuff has happened. Plus, I had the vid, and I didn't know what the fucking rules were, and then it was last minute. And I hope not everybody was at the screening because I have serious FOMO. But if other people didn't make it, then I won't have as much FOMO. Then I was going to go to another one, and I couldn't because I was just doing too much shit. And then, so I'm like, I'm just going to go and see it in the theater. Now, I wish I kind of went Thursday night. My friend Justina Marino, Justine Machine, she's a super head. Like, she's a really funny comic, but she's also like a 90s fangirl. So she actually has a couple posters of me in her room, and she's in her 30s. But movies, like Romeo and Juliet and Scream. It's really, really cute. And she was like downloading me, and she's like, this is a madhouse. Oh my God, this is packed. People are going crazy. And she's like, I won't tell you anything. And then when she came, she DM'd me. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, don't tell me anything, because I only knew the Skeet stuff. And she's like, you would have been freaked out because there were so many people in the theater, and you would have been in the back, and you would have been breathing. I'm like, she's like, someone recognized you, then it would have been nuts. And I'm like, no one's gonna recognize me. I got my beard. They think I'm fucking building a bomb. And they're like, no, they would have known it was you. And then So then I was really bummed I didn't even know that. That was just a normal screening. So not a screening, but just a normal thing. So I went and I said, I'm going to go to movie theaters. And so I went out because Alyssa knows. And I went to Thousand Oaks. It was fantastic. I was so sad when David got killed. I thought he could survive. I cried. It was really cool for me to cry like that because with him, I was doing it. I was shocked. Now it's just Courtney and Nev, and obviously the new cast, and I was fucked up. But I felt like maybe this is how people felt when I died because people like told me that. They're like, oh yeah, when you died. But I mean, dude, he's just been around forever. He's one of the rocks. He's a pillar. So anyway, that's how I got involved. I just am so lucky. And I'm not doing this for anything. I just want to let you know this. I'm not doing this video to like try to weasel my way in. Not that you would think that, but there's probably some haters out there or clout myself. I'm not, I know I'm just a painting in the movie. But the movie opened to #1. What I'm saying is the painting helped. The painting pushed it over to take out the spider. Okay. Anyway, I'm just, like I said, I'm doing this video because you guys want it. You keep asking me and you keep asking me questions and the Scream is in the zeitgeist like a mofo. I just feel honored to have ever been a part of it. And like, it's crazy to be in the movies and then to die and then come back on videotape. And like I said, now in Scream 4, I came back through some reference and dialogue, but in this one, I'm like now on paper and a photo and then speeches. Maybe the next one will be an avatar somewhere. But congrats, and the cast has been really sweet. I haven't talked to them, but I've been reading some stuff, and so I just want to let you know I see you, and I can't wait to meet all of you. But I just want to tell you, congratulations to the cast, congratulations to the crew, congratulations to Matt and Tyler and Chad, Paramount, Spyglass. It's awesome. The movie's incredible. It is going to live on forever. Reinvented the legacy. I'm just so fortunate and nice to be around kind people that are so talented. So I just want to say thank you. Hey guys, you like this? You know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Some of you guys are saying, my bell doesn't ring. So YouTube, don't screw my bell. And comment, talk, hit me up. Anything you want to know that I'm doing, you can always go to my website, jamiekenny.com. Going back out on tour and a bunch of stuff. Go see Scream.